Hey, welcome back
to
everybody.
Viewers Choice 2013, The Real People's Power.
Free your mind.
So, unfortunately, neither one of us have anything to contribute for people watching or in the news. So, tonight we're just going to go into another topic. Now, what we discussed last night was that leading up to Halloween, that we were going to have topics pretty much solely based on Halloween. So, tonight we'll continue with
Basically what we were talking about.
I mean, a topic in general.
I want to put a note out there real quick.
Okay.
I received a comment. I wanted to let the guy who left the comment. First off, he's praising our show. He loves what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He loves what we talked about last night for
Mm-hmm.
Halloween. He asked me, do I review the footage the same day when I do my investigations, or the following day? You know, and the answer to that is the following day. Sometimes I do what's called a real playback, where I'll play back an MVP because I want to see if it caught anything.
You mean EVP?
Huh?
You mean EVP?
What'd I say?
MVP.
Sorry, I was thinking my mind was still on WWE. An EVP, but I play it back sometimes in real time. But the majority of the time is that I'll collect the footage and we'll review it the next day. So that's the answer to his question. So to continue our traditions of Halloween. So last night we talked about Halloween traditions, the things that we enjoy to do on Halloween. Now, tonight is about what are some of your favorite Halloween movies.
Oh, that's right down my fucking alley. Well, shit, basically, it's horror movies in general.
Name a couple that are your favorites. Like the all-time favorite.
My all-time favorites, most definitely Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, of course, the originals, of course.
Right.
Gotta be the originals.
Okay, so those are your favorite slasher films, apparently.
And Scream.
Scream.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them for me. I like part one. Scream.
Okay.
No, all of the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween.
Okay.
All of them I love. I was talking about the Scream ones. I like part one and probably part two. That's the extent that I like. Once they went to 3 and 4,
well, to me, when it comes to sequels, I like to see how they can continue the story, but still try to make it fit into what the original was about.
Right.
Like, of course, throughout the entire trilogy, or I guess you can't call it a trilogy now since there was a fourth one, throughout the entire Scream series, the focus has been on Sidney Prescott, the main character. In the first one, it was who killed her mother, and come find out it was her boyfriend and his best friend. Second one was her boyfriend, Billy Loomis's mother, getting revenge, and she teamed up with some psychopath she met on the internet. Then in the third one, it was her actual brother, who apparently was jealous of all Sydney's success and wanted to make her pay for losing his life and shit like that. And then in the fourth one fucking shocked my ass. I gotta tell you that. I was surprised to find out that it was her damn cousin who was completely jealous of Sydney in every way. She wanted to be Sydney. She wanted her success.
She wanted her life.
She wanted her life. So it was her cousin in the fourth one trying to take aim at it. Now, apparently, and I heard this a while back, there's supposed to be a fifth one.
Yeah, it's already in production now.
So I wonder who they're going to come up with that's going to have a beef with her now. Is it going to be her father this time? Is it going to be somebody else's parent? Some other long-lost family relative?
You know, there was also the other movies. It was a low budget, well, not low budget, but feed movies. The Wrong Turn series.
The Wrong Turn movies, the first one is by far the best.
Mm-hmm.
The sequels, they were close, but instead of having an actual storyline, I believe they just focused on the gore. I mean, I have no problem with that. I love that about horror movies.
What was it, part 3?
Which one?
The one that shows them when they were the prequel when they were kids.
Part 4.
Part 4. That one was good because they went back to the beginning
to show how it all started.
Like they did with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, they had the first one, the second one, the third one, then back to the beginning.
Now, speaking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, I never could get into those and I know it's supposedly based off a true story, and with the dude hacking people up with a fucking chainsaw, that part in and of itself, the gore factor of that alone is what I like. But the whole storyline behind it, I could never really grasp it.
But you gotta admit, the Texas Chainsaw 3D looks kind of cool.
Yes, the new one that's scheduled to come out by the end of this year definitely looks pretty good.
November 24th?
I think. Either the 22nd or 24th, yeah. I think. And for you R&B junkie females and gay guys who love Trey Songz, hey, he's in his first movie. He's in a fucking horror movie. Hey. Yo. Let's see, what else?
Okay, how about... I gotta mention this one, but we can't say too much about it. Sinister. That's definitely up there.
Sinister is, I gotta say, because we've seen it, and if you watched our Critics Corner review on it, Sinister, in our eyes, was an excellent horror movie, and I believe it will go down as one of the greatest.
You know, it just has all the factors. Everything was correct in it.
Definitely.
It was a great movie.
And if you haven't seen it yet, get your asses off your fucking asses and go to the theaters and see it.
I can't wait till the sequel comes out because you know there's gonna be one.
Honestly, I would look forward to definitely seeing a sequel to Sinister.
Yeah.
Because of the way it ends.
That's one of the movies that live up to the titles.
Alright, so we talked about some of our favorites. Let's talk about, since we're talking about sequels, let's talk about movies that shouldn't have a sequel.
That should not have sequels.
That shouldn't have or should not have had sequels. What you got?
I'm going through them in my head, so talk for a minute while I'm thinking.
Well, I'll go with one that's right off the top of my head. Candyman.
Candyman should have been left alone with Candyman.
Now, it had 2 sequels. Candyman 2, Flash something. And then Candyman 3, Day of the Dead. Now, the first one, Tony Todd, epic. It was great. Second one, it was off. It was... I mean, of course, the story goes, he pretty much haunts his, relatives, ancestors, shit like that, people who, down the line. It lost me on the second one, but the third one, I actually liked. So if they could if they could have flipped the 2, replace part 3 would have made that part 2, that would have been better. And then 3 could have been left alone.
Okay, see, you asked me, movies that should not have sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I believe on this one particular movie, I'll get to the title in a minute.
Okay.
They should not have continued it making another one. Instead of making another one, they could still have the same story to it. I mean, the same concept to what the movie was about, but made it a whole new movie. Mm-hmm. By carrying this title, it kind of pissed me off.
How many sequels is that?
5.
Okay.
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist. To this day, I have yet to see the original Exorcist.
It is wickedly great.
The only Exorcist that I have seen was it was called The Exorcist: The Beginning.
The beginning, like when he goes back,
I think so.
that one wasn't that good. I did not like that one. Now the one I did like was actually called The Final Exorcism, because they went back to another true story, another true event.
Mm-hmm.
The first one and the last one were based on true possessions.
Well, now that you mention movies that are based on true stories, I know we talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre earlier, but I want to talk about some of these ghost movies that they say are based off true stories. Now, my thing about it is, if the first one is going to be based off a true story, okay, so be it. There may be some truth to that. But if the original is based off of a true story, how can you make a sequel?
That's what somebody in Hollywood just goes, oh, we can make another one.
Exactly. And yet they'll say this sequel is based on a true story. This sequel is based on a true story. Like they did it with Amityville Horror. They're doing it still with Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity. It's things like that can maybe a little bit, tiny bit. Like when the first one happened, like you see what I said from the first one, right? But you know me, I believe in paranormal. I've done investigations. I know it's real. But the things that they do in the Paranormal Activity, saying this is real footage, blah blah blah, right? So I don't think you have actors' names on it. If it's real footage, right? Real footage. How the fuck are you gonna put an actor's name on it? Right? You kind of just blew it right there, man. It can't be actual footage if an actor is acting in the movie. Because what happens at the end of the fucking movie? Credits roll. And it says actors. This person's name acted by this person.
Alright. Guess you idiots in Hollywood never thought of that one, did you?
Wow. At least Lighthouse does it better, and Lighthouse puts it says actors, right? And it says unknown. When they do their own versions of those type of movies, you know, for the B side, you know, and it's funny because they put unknown. That works. That's better to put actors' names on it. So this wraps up tonight's topic of our favorite Halloween movies. Our movies that we feel shouldn't have had a sequel. And what was the other subtopic? Our favorite movies and the movies that shouldn't have sequels.
Okay, so yeah. So that's some of ours. Let us hear some of yours. What are some of your favorite horror movies? Or movies you feel shouldn't have had a sequel? Or maybe movies you think should have a sequel?
So yeah, let us know. There you go, the movies that you think that you should have a sequel. And we'll be back tomorrow night with
another Halloween topic.
And I think tomorrow's Halloween topic is going to be favorite childhood memories.
From Halloween?
From Halloween.
All right.
So this is day 2 of the 12 days of Halloween.
This has been Viewer's Choice 2013, The Real People's Power.
Free your mind.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Shut up.